Hey all, Michelle Raza here with the Finding Yourself Book Club, and today we're going to continue talking about John Gottman's What Makes Love Last. We're moving on to chapter 6. This is Trust and the Roots of Attunement. So I will do my best to just read a little excerpt for you here, and then do what I do, which is talk a lot. I hope that the advice that I'm giving is helpful to you. Please do check out our website. We're at www.findingyourselfsatx.com. There you can fill out our life balance questionnaire, email it to us, and we can talk about it. Your first consult is always free. If you'd prefer, you don't have to fill out the life balance questionnaire. You can just shoot us an email. There's also a contact form on our website, so you can just submit that for us. Penny is taking new clients right now. She has a really good rate as well. So you don't really know that you need coaching until you realize it. And honestly, I could use someone to keep me accountable, and I think you could probably use someone to keep you accountable too. And that's really what we do. We're not a replacement for a therapist, even though a lot of what we follow, including John Gottman, is works by therapists because they're hella smart. But we're going to dive right in here to Trust and the Roots of Attunement by John Gottman. Practically every therapist and self-help book emphasizes communication and the power of words to resolve differences. Many offer excellent advice. But if the right vocabulary were enough to prevent severed relationships, by now we would have talked our way out of a punishing divorce rate. Too often, couples learn to parrot the right words, but don't anchor their talks in a profound understanding of each other. It's like learning to memorize French sentences. If you don't understand what they mean, you aren't speaking French. When couples can understand each other at a deep level and lovingly express that knowledge to each other, real intimacy exists between them. This ability, which we call attunement, is second nature to some lucky couples, but many others who are just as devoted find it challenging. Fortunately, attunement is comprised of skills that almost all couples can learn or learn to strengthen. The most frequent stumbling block to attunement is a disparity in how each partner feels about feelings, especially negative ones. Are you comfortable expressing your emotions when angry or sad? If your partner is upset, do you wish you could just escape? Or do you feel like it's your job to fix it? Do you want to tell him or her to just buck up? Powerful cultural, gender, and individual differences govern the answers to these questions. And ultimately, the way you react is not wrong. It's just typically how you were raised. The technical term I coined to describe a person's attitude toward feelings is meta-emotion. Meta is a reflexive word that psychologists often use to describe something that folds back on itself. Meta-communication, for example, refers to how we communicate about communication. Likewise, by meta-emotion, I mean how we feel about feelings. Some of us tend to dismiss feelings as unimportant, but emotions are an inherent part of the human experience. They exist no matter how intently one tries to deny them. We know that at least 7 of them are universal and hardwired into our brains: anger, sadness, disgust, contempt, fear, interest, and happiness. In the throes of these distinct emotions, people across the globe tend to make the same spontaneous facial expressions: smiles, frowns, furrowed brows, and so on. Some research even suggests that specific emotions trigger the same psychological changes in all of us, like an accelerated heartbeat, no matter our background, lifestyle, or cultural origin. Because most attitudes toward feelings form during childhood, my understanding of attunement's critical role in adult relationship stems from my earlier work on parenting styles. In 1985, I developed a meta-emotion interview that assessed parents' attitudes toward their own emotions and their children's. The interviewers covered the subject's childhood experiences with anger, sadness, fear, affection, pride, and other feelings. The interviewers asked questions such as, could you tell growing up when your father was angry? What effect did this have on you? How did your parents show you that they loved you? I found great variability in our interviewees' meta emotion profiles, particularly when it came to negative feelings. One father considered anger insignificant. It was like clearing your throat, natural. You just get it out and go on. Another man said pretty much the opposite. When someone got angry at him, it felt abusive, as if they were relieving themselves in my face. Sorry, y'all. I've actually been recording back to back. I think I told you I work full time. I work for the man. So I work full time, and I want to bring you guys good content. And I just got slammed with a new project on top of my existing project. So I'm trying really hard. I want to make sure that you have fresh content every day. I know that YouTube is brutal, and if we're not producing, we're perishing, which I guess academia is the same, right? But I think I've told you all in the past, I'm not paid for any of this. I was super excited when Lindsay Gibson contacted me and I got to email back and forth with her. I think I actually got to chat with her on the phone once too. So it was pretty cool. I know I called a few times and then got voicemail, etc. But then one time I got to talk. And then I emailed back and forth with her. So that was awesome. John Gottman, I think, has a bigger following. He has a whole institute. He has therapists trained in his method. So I doubt he'll be calling me, but it's still super exciting, right? To go along on this journey and have you guys comment like how much these videos are helping. It really does make my world go round. And it makes me think of, I don't know if you saw, it came out shortly after, it was like sometime in the mid 2000s, I think, this movie called Julie and Julia, where this person, and I don't work a dead-end job. I love my job, but this person worked like a dead-end job, and her only like pleasure in life was blogging about cooking. And then apparently her blog blew up and it became this big thing, and she got a book deal, and I think she was able to quit her job. But for me, it's really just, if I can help one person, I feel like I'm really making an impact. And I studied all this stuff for myself, like just self-help, right? And so if I can share it with you and if it makes an impact, then it makes me feel really happy, and it's really, really rewarding. So that's why I'm here. But that was my chai interruption here. Oh, and the mug. My ex-husband actually got me this mug. He didn't like cats. I did like cats. So I do like cats. I just don't have one right now. Okay. Sorry. Really like segue. Data from this study uncovered two distinct approaches to child raising, based on the parents' attitude toward negative emotions and the lessons learned during their own childhood. When faced with an unhappy, fearful, or angry child, one group of parents, the larger group, unfortunately, tried to change how the child felt through distraction or by admonishing the child to forget it. These parents, whose approach I call emotion dismissing, believed that their children's feelings were a matter of choice. In general, emotion dismissing parents viewed exploring negative emotions as akin to pouring gasoline on an open fire. They considered anger to be an out of control aggression, sadness a wallowing in self-pity, and fearfulness a sign of cowardice. Here's how one emotion-dismissing father said he'd react if his son were upset over teasing. I say, don't worry about it. He didn't mean it. Don't dwell on it. Take it lightly. Roll with the punches and get on with life. So this dismissal, which I think he'll get into it a little bit more deeply, but this really does link back, right, to the whole being seen thing that Gibson talks about. When you're raised by emotionally immature parents and you effectively feel unseen in your life. So when your emotions are dismissed, you learn to discount them. You don't trust your own emotions. And it really does set you up for failure. So I don't want to take the words out of Gottman's mouth. I'm going to I'll give my 2 cents towards the end of the chapter or when we get to the end of a section. But just to keep the video short, I'm going to stop here and continue on the next one. And that's where we discover and talk about the other parenting style, which unfortunately is less common and is probably the better style. So thanks for being with me here today. Sorry, I'm tripping over my words at this point. Look forward to talking with you tomorrow. I think I said in one of my earliest videos about Gibson, if I ever meet you in person, I'll make you a cup of chai. This is Pakistani chai. It's amazing. My ex-husband is Pakistani, and I actually threw out my coffee maker a few years ago. Just the crash from coffee wasn't doing it for me, so now I just sip chai all day. So hope you guys have a great evening, afternoon, morning, whenever you're watching this. I just chatted with someone from France not too long ago. So bonjour, hope you're doing well. Take care, and we'll talk tomorrow.